Gas prices have surged to record levels over the last few weeks, you may have noticed. AAA reporting the national average for regular unleaded gas today is $4.26. Not quite as high as the record numbers the country was hitting last week, but more than 70 cents a gallon higher than just a month ago. Maryland and Georgia suspended the state's gas tax to relieve some of the pain. These surging prices at the pump affecting all of us, but especially those who log high miles every day, like truck drivers. And joining us now to discuss the impact on the trucking industry is Todd Spencer. He is the president of Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association. Thanks so much for being here. I know you've been going through a lot, and a lot of people might be surprised to learn that independent truckers actually do have to pay for their own gas, and so these prices must be crippling for you.
They buy diesel fuel, and sadly, what they're paying for diesel fuel right now is about $1 a gallon more than the price that you just mentioned for gasoline. So yes, it is a really significant expense. And for the typical owner-operator trucker, the guy that owns his own truck, is going to go through between 18 and 20,000 gallons of diesel fuel every year. So it is a really, really, really high cost.
Wow. And oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but obviously those prices are going to have to be passed along to the consumers.
They do. That's the way our system works. However, it's generally a struggle for the smaller operators to basically pass through that cost. Even if they have a scenario where they can pass it through regularly on a fuel surcharge, they usually come up on the short end when prices rise rapidly, as they are right now. And again, we're hoping to see some relief soon, but again, it's got to be passed through. And for the most part, truckers do it with a fuel surcharge. The smaller guys struggle to get that through. Larger ones can do it better, but I mean, it is an accepted practice. And of course, truckers hope to see it on each load that they pull, but many of us, we're going to see it on things that we purchase for transportation. We're going to see it for things like DoorDash and things like that. I mean, these are costs that do have to be passed through.
And so what are people telling you within your organization? What are the drivers saying? Are they wanting to leave the business? Are they just hoping to make up for it and an extra charge? Or what's the state of the industry right now?
Well, some would be thinking about leaving if they were already pretty much on the edge. But for the most part, they're anxious about their ability to offset that cost through fuel surcharges. Where most small truckers work is they load through the spot market. Oftentimes they load through brokers. Shippers may be paying fuel surcharges, but they don't always get passed through to the trucker that's actually paying for the fuel. Now, that shouldn't happen, but it's not against the law, and it is something that's fairly common. We hear more about it in times like we're in right now, but again, truckers are out there providing an absolutely essential service. There's demand for them. And, because of the pandemic and other things, we realize just how important truckers are to this whole country. I mean, without them, there's nothing to eat, to wear. They bring our toilet paper. We got to have them.
Absolutely. Well put. And I think people did start to realize that during the pandemic. And these are record high prices, the highest they've ever been in the country in history. Do you remember anything like this in all your years in the business?
Well, ironically, OOIDA, the organization that I'm now president of, started as a result of the very first Arab oil embargo, where oil was used as a political weapon, and it basically put a tremendous crimp on our whole economy in the U.S. Well, it virtually shut trucking down. And that's how we got our start. So yes, that's when the first fuel surcharges came into place. The Interstate Commerce Commission mandated that they go with every shipment, and the money go to the person that pays for the fuel. And the ICC did that one time after that in 1979. But since then, the market is supposed to step in and take care of that. And we certainly hope those responsible will step up and do the right thing right now.
Wow, that is ironic. That's how you got your start. And you talk about how you got your start. Do you see this ultimately playing out with independent trucking companies maybe going out of business? I mean, you're someone who started as a driver, you bought your own truck, now you're the president of the organization. It's kind of an American dream within the industry. Do you worry that other people just entering the industry won't have a chance at a success story like yours?
Well, listen, we're going to need trucks for a long, long, long time. But, trucking is a cyclical industry. And right now, trucks and truckers have been very much in demand for the past 18 months. I mean, we are a consumer-driven society. We buy stuff, and it takes trucks to deliver everything we buy. And as the economy starts slowing down, we're likely to, it's going to be harder for truckers, for all of them that are out there now. So yeah, again, it is an economically sensitive industry, and yeah, there will be some losers.
All right, Todd Spencer, I hate to leave it there on that note, but we know you'll be coming back. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
And thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.